It's a bull. Hey, good morning. What's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. A little different picture here today. This is of Hillsborough Inlet, which is right up the road from our business here. And if you can see my little pointy hand right here, this is where we are, right down here, down the coast just a little bit before Miami. But wow, look at that water. It's just absolutely beautiful out there. And there's the lighthouse. Just giving you a little education of our local area here, what it looks like. There's a lighthouse and one of the old prismatics, I think, or whatever, big crystal lens in there. One of the few left in the country that you still see. Well, we're here to talk about precious metals. I'm going to start out with prices this morning. First thing. Here we go. I thought that was fitting music for this, and now I'm going to update this right here to static price, and I think we're off here, folks. I think we're off to greener pastures. Look at that, $17.79, $26 plus silver, and $12.06 platinum currently. The low overnight, $17.60. The high, $17.84. We're not too far from that high. I think I seen that this morning when I got up earlier. The high was this morning. $25.79 the low and $26.32 the high for silver, and silver sitting around 26. Platinum's broken that 1200 mark. This is what we've been expecting here, so this is nothing new or nothing crazy. As I've been saying for quite some time, is buy the freaking dips when you can buy the dips. The coin said earlier, by the way, if any of you new people are wondering what that coin noise is, that's exactly what it sounds like. It's a coin that I spin every morning before I start the show and see whether it says heads or tails, or more or less bull or bear. The coin has a bull on one side and a bear on the other side. And it seems to be right lately, so it seems to be nailing it pretty good. Something weird last week is or Monday, I did the coin like I spun it like 3 or 4 times in a row because I kept messing up the start of the show. It kept showing bull, 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 bull. I said, boy, that's a strange coincidence. And here we are. So markets are up right now, and don't let that stop you from buying. I mean, there's still going to be some dips here if you can hit the dips and buy a little cheaper, great. But I still think sub $2,000 gold is cheap, sub $30 silver is cheap, sub $1,300 platinum is cheap in my opinion. So if you can still buy at these levels, great. Why not? Keep buying. If you didn't have the funds to buy earlier, don't worry about it. You didn't miss the boat. Anything but. The boat hasn't even left the dock yet, folks. And that's my opinion. And what a great opinion to have. Speaking of boats, I can't wait to get out this weekend and go fishing. Although it's going to be warm. It looks like it's warming up this week. My little thumbnail meme at the beginning. Bitcoin banned, gold and silver up. Well, we know gold and silver up, and why are gold and silver up? We'll talk about that a little bit, and we'll talk about Bitcoin ban. Interesting here, this is something that we've talked about on our show for quite some time. Bitcoin tumbles as Turkey bans crypto payments. This is on Zero Hedge. You can read it for free yourself. Interesting article, but this is something that's been happening slowly. Countries hate competition. Banks hate competition. Again, I sound like a broken record. I keep saying this, but if anyone really thinks that they're going to just allow it to happen, they're mistaken. They're mistaken. Because what's going to happen is that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are going to get banned in a lot of countries. It's banned in China. They just banned it in Turkey. This is not good for private crypto. Technology are good for private crypto investors when countries start banning it. And what's going to happen here in this country, if it hasn't happened already, is it already is regulated and becoming more and more regulated on a daily basis, highly regulated. And again, to my opinion, it's going to become more like a money market fund here in this country. That's if it kind of maintains the stability here. But no less, Bitcoin tumbles as Turkey bans cryptocurrency payments. And I think you're going to see that with a lot of other smaller countries coming up here pretty soon as well. Again, doesn't bode well. But my whole thoughts behind the cryptocurrencies is that this is an experiment to get the millennials and the younger generation used to a cashless society. The great experiment. And why do I think it's a great experiment? It's because there's so much mystery surrounding Bitcoin, its creator, where it came from. I mean, what government, what regulatory people allow something to be made by someone that is a shadow. I mean, Satoshi is a shadow. That's one of the things that bothers me the most, is the fact that the creator is not known. Why isn't the creator known? That kind of gives me suspicion. And again, I'm a newbie at cryptos for sure, but that gives me suspicion on why and who created it. But then again, I do have a suspicious mind sometimes. But no less, the reality of the situation is governments, banks, central banks, and they hate competition, and they won't allow without some kind of major regulation or adopting the technology itself. And what scares me about crypto technologies is turning us into a cashless society. And whether you're pro Bitcoin, anti-Bitcoin, pro gold, anti-gold, and silver, you should be really concerned about governments and central bankers turning our environment into a cashless society. You really should. You need to have some form of tangible money, and it's not in cryptos, folks. Again, whether you love or hate cryptos, it's a reality and something you really need to think about when we move forward into our future. GATA.org should be on your reading list, should be on your bookmark bar. And if it is, you're reading these articles here, and I don't have to really necessarily read them to you. But there were some pretty good articles on here. Where is it? Palisades Gold, Radio and Views, Money Mondays. Oh, okay, not that. Why the future's money is gold and silver, not Bitcoin. Very interesting here. I do see a future for not necessarily Bitcoin, but crypto technology and contracts and the transfer, getting rid of or peer-to-peer transfers of some type of wealth or property or something like that. I do see a function for crypto technologies, and a very important one, actually. So the gold and silver and cryptos will work together one day, but as far as cryptos being money, no, not going to happen, folks. And the only way it's going to happen is if governments adopt it themselves. They're not going to allow that kind of money competition. To boost revenues, Philippines terminates 9-year ban on new mines. It looks like the Philippines is going to be mining gold, silver, and other types of things here. This is very interesting. Hugo Salinas price. Mexico could remonetize silver without its central bank's approval. And oddly enough, so could our government. Our government could do the same thing. The Treasury could just bypass the Federal Reserve. Isn't that what Kennedy tried to do with the Red Seal notes or something? Anyway, that's a whole different story. But the Treasury can create their own form of money in gold and silver and precious metals. In fact, if you really think about it, they do. They're called American Gold Eagles and American Silver Eagles. Those aren't made by central banks at all. Central bank has nothing to do with gold eagles and silver eagles. The central bank's responsibility is printing U.S. dollars and taking care of the fiat end of the business. The Treasury can actually print real money, which is gold and silver, and they do. I think that's an interesting thought that I don't really give much time to. But Hugo Salinas, one of the bigwigs in Mexico, multi-billionaires, is bringing this up. But he also owns a lot of silver mines, too. However, man has a lot of influence. Let's see what happens. Good article, too. I suggest you read it. Silver suppression just might be beaten this year. GATA.org, Steer Tells Investing News Network. I think it's a possibility. I think at some point the game is going to be up for them, and once they lose control of these short positions and stuff, the game over. And in fact, I really think the game is over anyway, because physical prices have completely disconnected from the paper prices. As you know, this is why when people come in, new people come in buying gold and silver and precious metals, they look and go, "Hey, how come the silver price is like $26 and the cheapest I can buy any silver for is like $30 or higher?" And for a while I would say, well, it's a premium. You're paying a higher premium, but it's not a premium you're paying. Paper is a discount. I look at it in a whole different viewpoint now, a whole different way. I see gold and silver, coins and bars trading for, at the lower levels. If you can buy silver and gold for spot plus 3, spot plus 4, spot plus $5, that's as cheap as you can get it for. That's what I consider the real price of silver. The price of silver that I see on the screen, on my mobile device and on TV, to me that is just a discounted paper price. So I don't no longer see it as a premium. I see gold and silver physical bars as the real trading price of metal. What I see with paper is just a discounted paper price. If you can wrap your head around that, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's move along to, man, this is a great article. This is a great article done by Gold Money. I think they sell gold and silver and precious metals. I don't know exactly what they do, but they wrote a hell of an article here. And I tell you what, I'll beat their prices anyway. So if you're local and you live near me, I'll sell you whatever they sell, but cheaper. But I don't do paper instruments. I don't know what they do. But I've read a few of their articles, and if their company is as good as their articles, and you live near them and you can do business with them in some way, then why not? They write some good stuff. Anyways, why the future money is gold and silver. I'm going to kind of just delve into this real quick because I don't want to make this a super long video. Reminder why why gold and silver will be sound money and why Bitcoin cannot fulfill that role. I'm going to, again, brief over a few things. You need to read this. Again, one of the best written articles I've seen in a little while on the comparison between gold, silver, and crypto coins. And it's called Why the Future Money is Gold and Silver. Just type that into your Google search engine. In fact, if you want, stop right now, open up another window, type that in, and read it when you're done watching this. With Bitcoin's price still rising and expected to rise even more, there has been a growing belief in cryptocurrency circles that it will replace unbacked government currencies when they eventually fail. The assumption behind this conclusion is naive, and this is, again, what I've been saying for some time. You know, love or hate cryptos, and I'm ambivalent. I don't love or hate them, but it's true. Exposing hardly any knowledge in what qualities are needed for sound money. And unfortunately, this is the millennial crowd. This is the younger crowd. Not all of them. Some of them understand what sound money is, and more do, which will bring me up to the silver squeeze things that I want to talk about a little bit in an article on the silver squeeze. Boy, it might be a long show afterwards. I'm sorry. But a lot of the younger people and their parents have no clue what sound money is. And this is why we're in the terrible situation we are globally with fiat monies. And this is why the dollar is in trouble, because the people, us, that put these people in control have no clue what they're doing because we have no clue what they're doing. Sorry, that's kind of like a circular argument there. This article agrees that the current events are accelerating the path towards fiat destruction and that the historical precedents point to their eventual replacement with a sounder form of money. But what that money will be is decided when governments lose control over their fiat, and the public, its users through free markets, will set the monetary agenda. Only then will the general public determine the qualities required, and in the past it has always opted for metallic money. This is true. And because government treasuries, departments, and their central banks coincidentally possess only, now remember, I've talked about this so many times on the show, you know, central banks and the elite and governments, they push paper fiat on us. They push paper fiat on us. But think about this. What do they all own stored in vaults? What's supposed to be in Fort Knox? Gold. I don't think it's silver, but what's supposed to be in Fort Knox? Gold. What do central bankers kind of hold as a hedge? They hold gold and silver in their vaults. What does Russia have been building up because the weaponization of the U.S. dollar, and they're going to be cut out of the dollar system? They've been building up gold. Nothing else, not fiat currencies, or not. They've been building up their gold supply. What has Venezuela been trying to live on? Their gold, not their currency. So, you know, gold's been around for 5,000 years. So, again, the article hits it exactly here. And the qualities required in the past is always opted for metallic money, and that's why. And we still do to this day. Our central bankers and our elites still covet gold and silver. They tell us not to, though. And because government treasury departments and their central banks coincidentally possess only gold in their non-fiat reserves, think about that, folks. That's what I've been talking about for a year now on these shows. Its monetization is the only option for governments to survive the collapse of their fiat currencies. So why do governments and central banks own gold? Why is Russia building up a bigger gold supply? What is Venezuela living on their gold supply? Why? Because of the collapse of fiat. So why do you want to own gold and silver and not fiat currencies? And fiat could include the U.S. dollar, the Australian dollar, the peso, anything not backed by something tangible or something like gold or silver. And that includes cryptos, folks. So Great freaking article. Again, I don't want to read the whole thing because I want you to read this. You have to read this. I'm sorry, I'm insisting that you read this article. Very well done. And I got to give this man credit right here. Let me pronounce it. Alasdair MacLeod. Great job, sir. Wonderful job, and I like the stuff you write. I'm going to kind of just do a few things here because I could really get into this article with you. It is almost certain that, like the majority of gold and silver bulls, hodlers expect to sell Bitcoin for profit measured in their government's currency, creating for themselves relative wealth in dollars, euros, and yen, whatever their governments impose on their citizens as money. But it is an investors' or speculators' approach, which is accompanied by what do we got going on now, folks? Feverish examination of charts, confirmation bias from experts, and only half understood concept of what is driving the price of cryptocurrencies. And this is what we've got out there. If you go out there and look, it's enthusiasm, and which is great. But it's feverish examination of charts, confirmation bias by experts, and nobody really understands what's happening. This is why I keep talking about, where cryptos are going, what they're probably going to become in the future. Despite people think I'm dissing it, I'm not. I'm just talking about reality here. So sudden and wonderful has been the unbanked wealth creation and leading to cryptocurrencies that investors commonly proclaim that gold and silver are yesterday's story and that we oldies should move with the times. Again, right out of my mouth here for the last year over and over, kind of a redundancy for me, but great article. These investors claim that 5,000 years of empirical evidence is about to be overturned, but they are investors. All bulls and no bears, and that's exactly what you've got going on in the crypto markets. All bulls and no bears. Other than banking fabulous profits in fiat at a future date, this has nothing to do with money per se. And exactly, we're talking about money, folks. The word cryptocurrency it says currency. That infers money. It's not money. Don't you think it's money? And we shouldn't allow it to become money because all of a sudden it is an unbacked fiat, and government will have complete control over it at some point. Trust me on this. You do not want to go to a cashless society. You don't want to do it. Don't let them push us into it, and that's what cryptos are going to do. The point about sound money is you acquire it by spending fiat, so that when fiat goes, you have to spend it. It is not an investment decision, but more like an insurance policy taken out for which risk assessment has to be made. If it is decided that risk is the fiat currencies will not fail in one's lifetime, then the insurance premium, which an individual's decision need only be small or not even be taken out. But if the decided risk is there's growing, like we have today, the growing fear of a fiat currency and major inflation, then you have to put your money into something, and something sound. And what is sound? What has 5,000 years of historical track record? Gold and silver. What do central banks covet and the elite covet? Gold and silver. Why do they have it? Well, they have it because when their fiat collapses, like Venezuela, that's all they have to live on. And why that's all they have to live on? Because that's what a majority of the people in the world believe is really gold. In their hearts, they know that gold and silver is real money. They may love the idea of cryptocurrencies, but in our hearts, we all know it. Every one of us knows that gold and silver is real money. So, man, I could make this a really long article. This guy, I love this article. I said that like 10 times already. It's like me saying anyways over and over. Sorry about that. The characteristics of sound money. I like this little chart too, and I'm going to speed through the rest of this because you have to read it. The characteristics, fiat replacement, for example, if we replaced with Bitcoin, public acceptance right now is strictly limited at the moment, strictly limited, officially sanctioned no, track record none, monetary flexibility none, financial flexibility none. And if you look here, gold and silver, public acceptability, global, absolutely true. Officially sanctioned, yes, gold, silver, unlikely. Track record, extensive. Now, he's talking about using gold as money, and basically, if you think about it, it is true. Gold is money. It is money globally still to this day, and central banks covet it as money. Public acceptability. This article goes into that. You please read this article. Again, especially if you are really into cryptocurrencies. I think this is very, very important for you to read. If you're pro-crypto, you should read this. If you're against crypto, you should read this too, because it's not what you think too. It's not an anti-crypto article. I believe, and again, a lot of people believe, as does this gentleman that probably wrote this, that there is a great place from peer-to-peer transfers of wealth in the crypto technologies, and I sincerely believe that myself. But money, no, it is not money, folks. Financial flexibility, you know what, the conclusion of the article, I could read that, but again, it's pretty long. Highly recommend you read this, again, for the 10th time I said this. And let me move on to the next thing. I told you I was going to talk about the silver squeeze. I've been kind of following, you know, major media, corporate media, which I've told you don't trust corporate media when it comes to gold, silver, and precious metals, and you probably shouldn't trust them in other things too, but I'm going to stick with what I know. And when I'm watching corporate media, whether it's print, online, or television, what little corporate television I've ever watched, but when they talk about gold and silver, and I do watch some of those subjects, they're completely stupid when it comes to that. One of the smartest people they have, CNBC occasionally will have Peter Schiff on there, and he'll talk about precious metals and stuff, but usually they get Peter on there to talk about other things just to make fun of him, unfortunately, because he's a very intelligent man. But Peter Schiff is one of the only experts I've ever seen interviewed online or on with corporate media, and he knows what he's talking about, in my opinion. But no less, the silver squeeze, the corporate media has used the silver squeeze, at silver squeeze, the Reddit people, as the, well, that's why silver's going up. Even the Perth Mint, the director of the Perth Mint fell for this nonsense. It's bullshit, folks. And I love the silver squeeze. I love seeing this. It brings attention to silver. It brings attention to the manipulation of silver and what's really going on. It brings attention to why we should buy physical silver and gold, which I think is wonderful. So I'm really all for the silver squeeze. However, they certainly are not even close to being the people that have caused the price of silver and gold to go up. Not even remotely close. The silver squeeze started years ago. It started before the silver squeeze was even a thought, folks. Way before that. It just, for some reason, the media has kind of clung on. You know why? Because corporate media doesn't understand precious metals at all. So this was a story they could understand. Oh, look, just like the Reddit Wall Street bets did with GameStop, the silver guys did with this. No, it's not true. They linked two things together. No correlation there. Again, I love the silver squeeze, love the whole idea behind it, love the education behind it, but it has nothing to do with the price of silver going up and continuing to go up. It does have a little play into it, again, because it's brought a younger generation into the market. However, when I read this stuff and I go to the silver squeeze, there's so much bad information out here, folks. I hate to say it, but it's really true. And there's some great stuff out here too. But the whole point, and what I love about this silver squeeze thing, in this Reddit page here and the other people that are doing it, is the fact that they are bringing attention to gold and silver. And even if they get it wrong, it'll, you know, eventually, if they take the time to learn, they will get it right. So this is nothing but positive for precious metals when younger generation gets involved with it. But did they start this? No, not at all. And actually, if you take a look at the Reddit silver squeeze and you type it in, I like DuckDuckGo, by the way. I don't use Google or any of them because they track you and there's no privacy. DuckDuckGo, since I've been using it, I never get advertisements for certain things that I'm searching for. Kind of weird, but it works. The silver squeeze at Reddit, but silver squeeze, I was looking for some articles. The Reddit silver squeeze is not likely to succeed. This is done by NASDAQ now. NASDAQ, the people that should have some understanding about gold and silver and precious metals market, have made a big deal about the silver squeeze, like they really believe that this small group of people made a significant impact in silver markets, and that's the reason silver is discovered now. You know, ridiculous. So I'm disappointed. Well, I'm not disappointed. It just shows you how little most people know about precious metals. New York Post, same thing. Reddit's epic squeeze is only helping Wall Street. Nonsense. It has enough. Again, corporate media just sunk into they sunk their teeth into this silver squeeze thing only because it was on Reddit, and they had recently just seen the Wall Street Bets thing, which again, Wall Street Bets was instrumental in driving up the price of GameStop. Or it really was. But as far as at silver squeeze, no. It just brought corporate attention and a lot of media attention. And really, some of that media attention, if you looked at it, was just negative by corporate media. Here you go, silver squeeze. And take a look, Stockhead on MSN, trading with folks, still waiting for a silver squeeze. What about a milk squeeze instead? Look at the negativity, right? So all they did was latch on to a bullshit story about that claim that this group of people caused the price of silver go up and discovered that silver was too cheap. Again, nonsense. And then they ran with it. They ran with their stupidity here. Investing.com, FX Street. Well, no, they don't actually say anything about the silver squeeze per se, about the Reddit thing, but some of them, again, a Reddit forum founder, MSN, there's your typical stupid when it comes to reporting. Again, I've always told you, don't listen to corporate media when it comes to precious metals, television or online. Find yourself individuals, get a bunch of different opinions. Get pros and con opinions, both. That's my opinion. All right, let's talk about yesterday's video real quick. Man, some big comments there, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to kind of go over real, a few of them. I'm getting longer comments. The shows are getting longer, so if I miss your comment, forgive me. I'll try to get to it. And again, I thank everybody for watching and being supportive of these videos. My effort here is to teach you how to do this yourself. Dumb things you see. Thanks for watching. Oh, you were in my shop. Thank you, sir. Matteo D4 says thank you, much needed. I'm with you. Savoy Truffle traded 160 cash plus 9 ounces for some rough silver eagles. Again, you know my opinion. I'm not a big fan of silver eagles, but if you can get a good deal and you can trade them and get them for less than a $5 premium, no one should be paying more than $5 an ounce premium right now, but that may change very quickly because I'm having a hard time getting silver right now myself. I usually like to make anywhere from 25 cents to $1 an ounce over what I pay. My cost on silver is gone up a little bit, but the delivery times are just nuts. Took me forever to get 1 ounce generics recently. Warning, hostile. Hey, nice to see you, Mr. Bear. Hostile 1, thanks for your time. Info bookmark, GATN.GH. That's great. That's what I want to hear, man. If I do these shows, and even if you're bookmarking something that helps you gather more knowledge to become a smarter buyer and seller in precious metals, man, I feel like I won in this deal. But again, remember, most of the reason I do this is for local business. I don't do online business, and I recommend you deal with your local coin and precious metals dealer. And but I go on that later. Hey, that's cool. I really think that's cool. The only problem I have is hearing you joke about gold from asteroids. Moving through space is so simple. I haven't seen any of the Marvel comic books, so I see that you're kind of just being funny about it. But you're absolutely right. You know, it'll be as far as mining gold and silver from asteroids. You know, gold would have to be a zillion dollars an ounce. Or not a zillion, but think about the payload to get gold and silver on and off the planet. You know what I'm saying? And the amount of money it would cost. Oh my God, it would be insane. So meanwhile, I don't expect to see any gold or silver coming from meteorites or planets anytime in our future, your kids' futures, and probably their grandkids' futures. Barry Williams says in an interview yesterday, Fed Chairman Powell said for thousands of years, human beings have given gold a special value that it doesn't have. Well, you know, Barry Williams, that's because Jerome Powell, when it comes to gold and silver, is a special kind of stupid. He's probably he's a paper guy, he's a fiat guy. But you know what? Let's not underestimate him. That's probably just, in fact, I take that completely back. He's probably not stupid at all. Because if you think about the Federal Reserve, you know, they know the value of gold. They just can't tell you they know the value of gold. So this statement makes complete sense, I know. It's kind of like a way to throw you off a little bit. That to tell the people, hey, here's this smart guy that runs the entire Fed telling you that gold is an archaic relic. Yeah, well, if the gold's an archaic relic, why do they all own it? But thanks for commenting, Barry. Jim C., I have a special question about coin sets. I buy at auctions and red proof sets. Jim, when it comes to that, give me a call on my telephone at sometime after 4 o'clock. Again, because I'm usually dealing with local customers between 10 and 4 Mondays through Fridays. But I usually answer my phone between 4 and 4:15 too. Call me at my store number anytime, and I'll tell you what the good deal is. But if you can buy 90% at that way, great. Why not? Ralph says gold is money of kings, silver is the money of gentlemen, barter is the money of peasants, and debt and the dollar and electronic coins are the currency of slaves. I like how you kind of adopted that to modern times with electronic coins, sir. May not argue with that. Fiat is fiat, whether it's electronic or whether it's paper. L. Jetson says, I think swear words are the most accurate way to describe the economy in 2021, amongst a lot of other things, I'm sure. Thanks for watching, L. Jetson. Black Silver Stuff says, guy selling at 1/10. Again, if you got questions about, if you live in my neighborhood and you do business with me directly, come in or call anytime between 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays. Remember, I don't do business online or on the computer or anything, or on the phone. And if you don't live in my area, please understand that I am working with customers between 10 and 4. But if you got questions, ask me after 4 p.m. If I can answer them, I will. If not, leave me a message and I'll get back to you. William Minucci says, I have to agree with you. I did not weaponize the dollar. Oh, Bill, I didn't say you did. I kind of said we did. We were involved. But, you know, I'm saying that because I didn't directly do it, too. I was screaming back then, don't do it, don't do it. And so were you, probably. But you know what? We still have to include ourselves as we. I don't want to point fingers at my brothers and sisters and the people around me. I want to be part of them. So I was part of the mistake. Maybe I didn't scream loud enough. Maybe I didn't make my voice heard, that things... we shouldn't weaponize the dollar. Maybe I should have talked about it more and got people more cognizant of it. I don't know. So I blame myself for everything. So, no, that's not true. I take responsibility in my life for everything. Even when it's not my fault, I generally take responsibility for it. Because taking responsibility gives me the power, not other people. Mark Pedri says, I agree with keeping money local, but I can't find a coin shop here. Mark, I know it's tough as hell, man, but listen, even if you have to drive an hour to make your purchase, keep it in your state at least. You know, when you order online from these online companies, again, SD Bullion, I advertise locally to beat all prices from SD Bullion, JM Bullion, and APMEX. 3 good online companies, I believe. However, I encourage people to go to your local coin stores to buy from them if you can. If you don't, buy from those guys. They're good. You'll get your product, I believe, and you'll get a real product. But as far as buying local, I'm all pro. I'm pro buy local. Keep that money local, even if you have to pay a little bit more. Let me go, sorry about that. I'm replacing my always with ums. So, Stephanie, I hear you stopped watching them 2 years ago. Watch them too. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the news. Yep. Here we go. Here, I replaced always with Il Prepper says instant gratification will end us all. I've done a show where I spoke about instant gratification, and let me bring up a good point about instant gratification. Il Prepper is that any of you folks out there that are listening to my videos and you're in gold and silver and precious metals to get rich. You know, you're at the wrong place. I'm not here to tell you how to get rich. This is not what gold and silver and precious metals is about. If you get rich, great. But gold and silver and precious metals is not about getting rich. Maybe speculating in crypto, going to Las Vegas, speculating in the stock market. That's a different thing. But as far as what gold and silver and precious metals is all about, it's a hedge. It's a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against bad times, and it's a good way to preserve your wealth. Gold and silver and precious metals, for me, is all about wealth preservation. It is not about getting rich, but it can happen. So anyway, hey, thanks for watching, Il Prepper. Silver Surfer says, when electronic and green energy transportation starts interest over commercial bar availability. Wow, that's a pretty heavy question. Through purchasing and talk and delivery. I guess most of you are reading along with me. Well, I don't even know how to answer that right now, Silver Surfer, but a wonderful, very deep question there. Spot manipulation is crushed. I'd probably tend to agree with you, but I got a little more time to think about it, and I can't wrap my brain around it when I'm doing this show right now. Dean Walker says, I love listening to Brian, but I get the feeling you are against closures to stop the spread of COVID. You kind of bring up some points here. Dean, the country, I'm not sure what country you're from and where you're listening from, but it's a little bit different here. You know, Florida has been opened up. Governor DeSantis has done a wonderful job in the state of Florida. He opened up the state. My whole feeling on this viral thing was that with the mistake we made is we should have had people that were at risk and that wanted to mask up. People that wanted to close up, but we shouldn't. The mandate shouldn't have been there. No frickin' way. The amount of people that passed per population is less than 1%. It's 0.8 or something like 0.9 or I forget what it is as far as population goes. So certainly anything far from a deadly pandemic that we were told it was going to be. I think the economic deadly pandemic coming up is going to be far more deadly than the pandemic itself was. Again, that's my opinion on there. As far as our state of Florida, our governor opened up months and months ago. I'm looking out my window right now. The restaurants are open. The people are out there. People that want to wear masks are wearing masks. People that don't want to are not. And I've lived down here in Florida, South Florida, almost my whole life. I know of one person that has passed, and I know thousands of people. I grew up here. This is my hood. I know of one person that passed. I know of one person that says they've had after effects from it. I've known quite a few people that have had it and gotten over it, including elderly people and people that I never thought would have survived if they got it. So I don't know what to tell you, sir. I can tell you that Florida and Texas are doing great out of all the states economically, and as far as the death rates and people getting very deathly ill, no worse than states that are far more locked down. And that's fact. That's not me making stuff up. Thanks for watching, Dean. I really appreciate it. And listen, we agree to disagree on this subject. I'm cool with that as well. Benoit, oh man, I'm going to butcher your name. I'm so sorry, sir. And that's what American people do to French people. We butcher everything. We butcher your names. Benoit, I think you pronounced it correctly, and I'm not going to butcher your last name. Thanks so much for very correctly explaining the intentions of Charles de Gaulle when he chose to repatriate gold. I'm French, and if I ever hinted toward that, I would have been called anti-American. Yeah, I'm called anti-American too sometimes, but you know, you got to call the truth. The truth is important. You know, sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, sir. I'll go beyond that, but yeah, you brought up some really good points here about how the U.S. dollar and fiat system has kind of robbed the world and how the U.S. has kind of benefited from that international robbery. You got a great point. And any folks out there that are listening to the show, again, I'd love to go into it more in depth with you, sir, but I got to finish up this show here. I don't want to be too long. But you had a great point here, and any folks watching this show, I take his suggestion that you just stop the video now and read this real quick. The man has really a great point here to point out, and something that we've been talking about for some time as well. Hey, thanks for watching, Benoit. I really appreciate it, and I hope I got your name right. That was from yesterday's show, Denial. Daniel, my God, this is what happens when I leave Marcelo to spelling. Daniel, it's Denial, Marcelo. Sorry about that, folks. I just noticed that. Oh, well, not perfect. Best deals for gold and silver coins and bars. If you can buy gold, silver coins and bars for any silver that you can buy that's recognizable product, that's less than a $5 an ounce premium right now, just buy it, folks. Just get it. If you're paying more than $5 an ounce, I wouldn't suggest it unless you're absolutely stuck and you can't get anything cheaper from your local coin store or online for that matter. You know, if your local coin store is $10 on a product and you can buy it online for $5, you know, I'm going to invest and I'm going to tell you to buy it online because that's a big savings. But you know, if it's such a small difference, then buy local. Keep that money local. And as I've always said, I will beat the three biggest sellers online: JM, APMEX, and oh my God, SD Bullion. So if you live in my neighborhood, you live in my area, and you deal directly with me, you don't need to go online. You can just come see me. I'm open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. Best deal out there for gold is still gold bars. From what I can see, you can still get gold bars for under a $100 premium over the price of gold, which is a way better deal than well, if you can get KRs, they're close to $100, but Eagles are running that, or Maples are running that 120 to 140 range. Eagles are running 170 to 200. Too much. Just stick with gold bars right now. Best deal out there until they're not, until you can't find them anymore, which may happen here. There is a big product shortage out there in silver, folks. Don't you be deluded in not thinking that. There is hard to get right now, a lot of silver products, and hard to get some gold products too. That's why the products are costing so much, I should say. Hey, listen, I'm going to wrap this show up right now. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Let's take a look and see that little camera there again. Man, oh man, that's going to be me right here. That right there, going out there and fishing this weekend. I don't know what I'm going to catch, but it's going to be fun. So if you got any questions, call me between 10 and 4, Mondays through Fridays, 954-493-8811, between the hours of 10 and 4. If you don't live in my area and you can't do business with me and you got questions for me, please leave them in the comments. That's even better. I can answer them there. Or if I don't answer them there, give me a call after 4 p.m. It's usually when I close my front doors. And if I can answer your question and help you buy something in your area, I'll do my best. Well, that's really about it. Brian Kuzmar, Commercial Rare Coins. There's my phone number. Have a great weekend. If anything crazy happens today, and gotta love these prices. These prices are up. I think they're going to continue to go up for this next quarter. Although you will see some monkey hammering and you'll see some opportunities to buy the dips. So do it. But meanwhile, talk to you Monday. Have yourself a beautiful weekend. Bye.